Hi everybody, Nike is one of the greatest brands in the world, and time and again Nike has established new benchmarks with its iconic marketing campaigns. But on 3rd of September 2018, Nike aired a campaign that literally broke the internet in the wrong way. This commercial became so controversial that President Donald Trump himself put out a tweet bashing Nike for their commercial. People started burning Nike shoes, and what followed next was a series of catastrophe with boycott Nike trending on Twitter. On top of this, the media started covering all this drama, which again led to a ton of bad publicity. But you know what, guys? While all this drama was going on, just when everybody thought that Nike sales were going down the drain, the world was shocked to know that after this controversial ad, Nike sales actually shot up by 31% and their quarterly earnings shot up by $129 million. And when this news broke out, the stock price shot up by 36% and Nike gained a market cap of $6 billion. The question is, what exactly was this commercial? How did Nike use this controversy to make $100 million extra? And most importantly, as students of marketing, what are the lessons that we need to learn from Nike's genius marketing strategy? This video is brought to you by Cuckoo FM, but more on this at the end of the video. This is a story that dates back to 2016 America, and just like the George Floyd case in 2020, even back then, there were several instances of police brutality on black men. So an NFL player named Colin Kaepernick kneeled during the national anthem as a gesture of protest against this police brutality. And this gesture took the Black Lives Matter to another level. Millions of people started posting on social media to both support and criticize Colin Kaepernick. And this became such a burning issue that even President Donald Trump tweeted about it. However, within some time, Kaepernick was left unemployed with none of the 32 teams willing to sign him for the 2017 season. Soon enough, many other players started protesting in their own ways as the Black Lives Matter movement started catching fire. And that is when, on 3rd of September 2018, Nike introduced the world to the iconic Dream Crazy commercial. And this commercial had the voiceover of Colin Kaepernick himself. Within just a few hours, this commercial was trending on every single social media platform. And within some time, there were more than 2.7 million posts referring to the Nike brand. This led to a massive social media outrage, which saw people burning Nike shoes, and the president again tweeted about it. Now the question is, when this commercial was meant for such a noble purpose and so many people resonated with it, why were people burning Nike shoes? And why was there so much hate for the Nike brand? As it turns out, this was a result of something called bipolarization, wherein one segment of people saw this as a gesture of courage and support for the minority of the United States, whereas the second segment of people saw Kaepernick's kneeling down as an insult to the national flag of America. So when Nike supported Colin Kaepernick, Nike was seen as an anti-national brand by this particular segment of people. And these were the people who started the boycott Nike trend on Twitter. As a result, when the sentiment analysis was done for the conversations around Nike, they were absolutely terrible. According to Brandwatch, immediately after the ad went live, the sentiment ratio around Nike dropped from 90% positive to more than 60% in the negative. And as soon as the ad rolled out, the online conversation about Nike went from 72% positive to 65% in the negative. This was the disastrous impact of the Dream Crazy commercial. Then the burning question is that when so many people were boycotting Nike and there was so much backlash, how is it even possible that Nike sales actually shot up by $100 million? Well, the first part of this answer comes from this wonderful book written by a Nobel laureate called Daniel Kahneman. In this book, Daniel describes our human brain as a function of two systems, that is, System 1 and System 2. While System 2 is the scientist who can do all the mathematical and complex calculations, System 1 or the limbic brain is the monkey brain. And this brain is involved in your behavioral and emotional responses. And the catch over here is that if you emotionally appeal to the limbic brain, you can command the trust of the humans. And the major driver of this trust is the purpose of your action. If you can resonate with the purpose of the opposite person, then that person or that group will automatically begin to trust you. And Simon Sinek phrased it very beautifully when he said, people don't buy what you sell, they buy why you sell it. And this is where Nike's Dream Crazy campaign comes in. The Dream Crazy campaign was a purpose-driven campaign that stood by a purpose, that is, the dignity, the respect and the safety of the black minority in the United States. And as soon as people saw it, every single person who resonated with the Nike's message started sharing their video, resulting into extreme virality. Now on the outset, although it looked like a majority of the Americans were against Nike, if you look at the intricacies of the numbers, it reveals a completely different story. While market research shows that 13% of Americans identify as African American, 18% of Nike buyers are black. While Hispanics or people from Spanish-speaking countries account for 16% of US population, they represent 19% of Nike buyers. And Asians account for 3% of the population but 5% of Nike's customers. Whereas the white population in the US is 75%, but they comprise only 67% of Nike's customers. Therefore, when Nike released a minority supporting campaign, 43% of Nike's customers were more likely to relate and resonate with Nike's campaign. And Nike's reports even say that a major chunk of Nike's white customers also supported Colin Kaepernick. Secondly, the research done by the best marketing agencies in the world states that purpose-driven marketing is by far the most powerful marketing strategy among the millennials and the Gen Z. And the fun fact is that this is what Nike's customer segment looks like. 15% of Nike buyers are less than 18 years old, 41% are 18 to 24 years old, and 19% are 25 to 34 years old. Which means what? 75% of Nike's customers are less than 34 years old, who are extremely likely to resonate with the purpose-driven marketing strategy of Nike. And this is where the magic happened. While most people saw the general American reaction and felt that Nike's brand was going down the drain, Nike's own customers actually became even more loyal to the Nike brand. Because to them, now Nike was not just a shoe company, it was something way more than that. It was a representation of their opinion and an icon that stood for their dignity. This is the reason why many celebrities who resonated with the campaign started sharing Nike's commercial on their social media accounts. And this included legends like Serena Williams, LeBron James, and even the Black Panther star Michael B. Jordan. Eventually, all of this together led to an extraordinary level of brand perception, leading to a spike in sales by more than $100 million. And I don't know how many of you have seen this, but then this usually happens in the case of politicians or Apple products. That is, when people around them criticize their favorite politician or their Apple product, these people often tend to passionately defend their product or their favorite politician, sometimes even illogically. Nonetheless, because of the criticism, they tend to find even more ways to support their Apple product or their favorite politician. You see, this is the byproduct of bipolarization. And because of this, there was a cherry on the cake for Nike. In this process, Nike actually achieved the super powerful golden loop of publicity with the media, which says that anything that is sensational gets covered by media, and anything that gets covered by media becomes sensational. In this case, the raging reaction to the Nike ad turned it into a sensation, which is why national media channels started writing about it. And this turned it into a national issue, inviting more publicity. As a result, the president himself tweeted about it. And this again turned it into an even bigger sensation, which eventually resulted into more media publicity. And guess what? Because of all this drama, Nike ended up getting $163.5 million worth of media buzz at zero cost. This is how Nike established a benchmark for viral marketing in the 21st century. And this brings me to the most important part of the episode, and that are the lessons from the case study and the study materials to help you read further. Meanwhile, if you're someone who genuinely wants to know more about Nike and its revolutionary strategies, you should definitely read this book called Shoe Dog by Phil Knight. And if you don't have the time to read the entire book, you can listen to the audiobook in your own regional language using the Kuku FM app. Kuku FM is India's leading vernacular audio learning platform, and it's got some of the best audiobooks in the world in 6 different regional languages. And apart from this book, you can even listen to the inspiring stories of Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, and even JRD Tata. And you can get your hands on their 1000-hour content library by getting their annual subscription at just 399 rupees. On top of that, you can get a special 20% discount using the coupon code THINK20, which will bring it down further to just 319 rupees. And lastly, if you are among the first 1000 people to click on the link below, you can use the code THINK50 and get a 50% discount on the Kuku FM subscription. So if you want to quickly get the knowledge of Shoe Dog and other wonderful books, download the Kuku FM app from the link in the description. Moving on, there are 3 very important business lessons that we need to learn from Nike's Dream Crazy campaign. Lesson number 1. The 21st century branding is no longer about just sales and discounts, and marketing is no longer just a nudge to sell your product. Today, they are about establishing a deeper connection with your customers and standing up for something that's way beyond conventional standards. In this case, it was Nike's courageous stand to sponsor Colin Kaepernick to support the right cause and use their advertisement as a symbolic representation of the dignity and safety of African Americans. Lesson number 2. If you are someone who wants to excel in marketing, it is extremely important that you have an in-depth understanding of 3 important subjects. And these subjects are consumer psychology, behavioral economics, and human-centered design. And the best books to start with these subjects are Hooked by Neerial, Richard Thaler's Misbehaving, and Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow. And last and most importantly, always remember, controversial marketing, although it looks very lucrative on paper, it is a double-edged sword. When done right, it will put you on a pedestal, but if done wrong, it can make an irreversible damage to your brand. A classic example of the same is the Gillette's We Believe commercial. So always study the failures as carefully as you study the success. That's all from my side for today, guys. If you learned something valuable, please make sure to hit the like button. I want to make YouTube Baba happy. And for more such insightful business and political case studies, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.